So as it relates to your brain, okay, when we are stressed, when you think about the thoughts flowing through your mind, when you are stressed, you don't have as much cohesive movement happening within the brain. We have 4 different brainwave states. We've got beta, we've got alpha, delta, theta. We go through these states. When we are stressed, we are kind of revving up and we're in beta mode. We're constantly fight or flight. We're constantly worried. They say 90% of your worries are perceived. They may not even be real, but we do have some real worries economically, financially, kids, relationships, whatever.
Right.
Pick one, okay? And so what happens to us is thoughts start racing through, they become incoherent, we get agitated, we feel anxious. The brain cannot manage at that state. It's revved up, it's overcharged, and it gets fragmented. And so we find ourselves forgetful, we find ourselves edgy, we're snapping, we're impatient. That's just your brain. So your vibrational frequency gets really, really low because now you're no longer coherent. You're not as aware as you are. You're letting your emotions run the place. The second thing about vibrational frequency and stress is how it affects you physically. We all respond and hold things in our bodies. I know people who have had financial stress and they've got chronic back pain.
Wow.
And there's a link between not feeling you have enough, you can't support your family, and then having this chronic back pain. Some people, fear goes in the back. Other people, they get stressed and they're feeling their joints. You know, shoulders are tight, the knees, everything's aching. We're holding on to these emotions and it's getting stored in our joints. The body is very receptive to holding on to things. So we have to find ways to help counteract stress, either through movement, if it's a physical issue where the stress is going. If it's not a physical issue, it could be an emotional state of stress. We need to find ways to have an outlet, talking to others who are supportive, talking to someone who you trust. We're human beings, we need to express. When we store things, that's when, like you said, Klarque, the heart, chest gets tight, everything's tight. Some people have, I know so many people with digestive issues these days, right? The gut, everything goes in their gut, literally. They can't stomach life anymore. They're ending up with ulcers and IBS and all these things. So when it comes to stress, one of the things we have to recognize, number one, identify what your stresses are. Break it on down, identify it. Some of the stress we have comes from fear. Some of the fear is real, some of the fear isn't real. I've known people who are afraid to do public speaking and they're stressed out, they're throwing up before they go on stage. It's not even their own fear, it's a fear of something was told to them as a child, or they believe somebody else, or we get influenced by people. And that in and of itself affects us. So the things that you can do, and which is what I talk about in both books, but more importantly, the first book, Raise Your Vibration, is identify the stress and start putting in daily habits to counteract the stress. There's so many techniques we can do. The one thing that I know we don't do enough of in North America is take time out, be by yourself, breathe. For me, walking it off is great. I go for a walk. If I've got too much on the brain, I literally have to move and breathe. And so we need to honor our energy. When we get to that burning point where it's tipping too far left or right, take time out for yourself and start doing things that are going to help you get clarity, help you release some emotional tension, physical tension. Take time out for you. It's very important we do that.
Yeah.